Okay, so I watched a video today that showed how to teach sight words to students. What I know for sure is that now that I have learned the science of reading, there is a particular way that we should be teaching students sight words. The flashcard method does not work. So what I want to do tonight is make a really quick short video. I'm going to use 10 of the pre-primer sight words, the very first few. These are words that students will see more frequently in the books that they read between the grades of K through 2 and 3. So I'm going to do the first 10. I'm going to demonstrate how I teach those sight words, and then I'll post the video. I think that what I'm probably going to do is post 10 maybe every week or so. So this is going to be the first 10 that I teach, and I'm just going to try and see how this works. So when I first teach the sight words, I do not show the word. The first thing that I do is I say the word and I use it in a sentence. So the first word I'm going to do is the word the. The cat has a fat tail. The book is blue. The word is the. And what I ask students is I ask them to tell me what the first sound in the word is. For the word the first sound is th. Teaching these words assumes that the students know the sounds of their letters. If students don't know the sound of their letters, this is going to be very difficult because you cannot teach sight words by memory. They do not actually learn the words if you're teaching them by memorization. Your brain can only memorize a certain number of words. And after a while, kids are not going to remember those words. And so you have to assume first off that the students, or not assume, but you need to make sure that your students know all of their sounds. They have to be able to make a connection between the letters and the sounds that those letters make. So for the word the first sound would be th, and there is a voiced th, and there is an unvoiced. For the word the th is voiced. And so I tell my students what letter goes with that sound. And so they would write TH, and I would demonstrate TH for them, how it looks, what it should look like when you write it. The next sound would be for the word the. We don't say the, we say the. And so the next sound would be Now, I explained that when I say we're not going to write a U. Hopefully the students know that is associated with the letter U. What I normally do is I will write a heart. So I'm showing this. This is what I write. And I tell my students, when you see this heart, it means that the sound that you're going to write does not match, the letter that you're going to write does not match the sound that you just made. So for the word the, it may sound like after the but we're going to write the letter E. And I write the letter E. And then I read the word again, the. And I ask the students, what's the word? The. And then I have students use the word in a sentence. The next word that I'll teach is the word and. And again, I say the word and. My sister and my brother went to the store. My mother and me went to the park. I took my dog and my doll to the store. And I asked the student what the word is, and. And so now we break the word into its parts. So the first sound in the word and is ah. Students should know those sounds. It's foundational that students know the sounds of the word, the sounds of the letters, okay? They have to make that connection in order to begin to connect those sounds to the words and letters that they'll be writing. So and, the first sound is ah, and that should be a. And I show them how to write an A. The next sound is an. And so, again, Formation and articulation of sound. It's important that students know what those sounds are in terms of their mouth, teeth, and tongue when they say those words and those letters. So, and that's the next sound. And with it's not n, it's n. I'm going to write the letter N. And my students are writing this as I'm teaching it. We have this big board that we get to use now. Before, it was just a whiteboard that I was using. So, and then the last sound in the word and I ask students, what is that D? What letter do we write? And they should be saying D. B and D is always difficult for a lot of kids. This is what I've taught. Your B hand is your left hand. If you look at your B hand, it's a straight line and a hump. Your D hand is your right hand. If you look at your right hand, it's a straight line and a hump the other way. That is how I've been teaching B and D lately. It's always on their hands. Left hand is B. Lay it down on a board. It's still straight line and a hump to the right. Same with the D hand. Lay it down on the board, straight line, hump to the left. B and D, it's always on their hands. So we've learned two words, the and. The next word is to. Have the words, have the student say the word, use the word in a sentence. I went to the park. I went to the store. I went to the mall. Okay? And then you break the word into its sounds. The first sound in the word to is T. What letter is that? Hopefully they say T. You show them how to write a T. It's important to connect those sounds to what they write. It's easier for them to remember to make those connections if they're connecting the sound of that letter to what they write. So the word is to. Okay, the next sound after T is oo. And for this one, I'm also going to use that red marker because O does not say oo. When you're teaching the sound of O, it either says O or ah. What you want students to learn is that for the word to, the O makes a bit of a different sound, and they want to acknowledge that. And so I write a heart until you actually, not even until you actually, some words are just going to have a heart because they're different. The sound of the letter that you make in the word doesn't match what you write. For the word to, that oo sound does not match the letter O. Because normally that letter O, again, says O or ah. Ooh, that we know normally is two O's. Okay? So in this word to, they have to remember, that's what that heart is for, a reminder that that O in the word to says ooh. And then we'll repeat the word. And I have the words written on cards so that once I've taught them, then I show them the words. And they should remember them. We'll review it. This is the word the. This is the word and this is the word to. Now, I'm not reading these. The students are reading them. And I don't do any more than 5 or 6 words because it's just too many. I've taught mine that the easiest two to read are this one, A, and this one, I. They actually say their names. The next word I'm going to teach is the word for. My mother brought a gift for me. You want to use the words in a sentence because you want to make sure they have a connection to what that word means. Because, of course, you have the number 4 and you don't want them confusing 4. So I say, my mother brought a gift for me. They always like that one. My teacher had a gift for us. The word is for. Have them repeat the word for, and then you begin to, again, break down those sounds. The first sound in the word for is f. Again, they've got to be able to make the sound letter connections. The first sound is f, and I ask, what letter do we write for? F. And hopefully they say F. And then the next sound is or. Now, I've taught my children, my students, the sound pattern for or. And so mine already knew that or was OR. Okay, but if your student does not know that, then you want to break that down even smaller. So, o, were, okay? Or, okay? So, o, that would be the letter O. Or, okay? That would be the letter R. R does not say Please stop telling children that R says It does not. ER says IR says and UR says R says R. Okay, so when you teach the word for, either teach it with OR as or, that's a pattern that they'll have to learn in other words, or you break up the or and you make sure they learn that O and R say or. Okay? That's 5 words. I'm going to teach the word you. Again, using it in a sentence. The word you, have the students repeat you, and then I use it in a sentence a couple of times and then I have them do it. So you are at school. You are a girl. You are a student. And then I have each student use the word in a sentence and then I have them repeat the word to me. So you, break the word up into its sounds. The first sound in you is y. And again, hopefully they know that Y says y. The next sound in you is oo. Now, here comes my red marker again. Because when I say oo, it sounds like a U. Ooh. People are going to think, students usually think that ooh is you, okay? What you want them to remember is that this is a pattern that's different, that when you say ooh, you're not going to think the letter U. They have to know that. They have to be reminded of that. That's why you have the heart on the word. Okay, so there's my heart. And then I write OU and let them know that in this word, the ooh is represented by the letters OU. When they see that pattern in other words, they're going to say ooh. Hopefully, that's how you'll teach it. Anyway, so again, once I've done that, I go back and review the words. I'm going to do the last 2 because there's only 2 more cards left. So the word is it. It is pretty outside. It is a nice day. It is going to rain. Have the students say the word. Have the students give a sentence for the word. And then you break it up into its parts. I is the first sound. I for itch. That's the short I sound. So you write I. Ask them what that sound is. Ask them what letter goes with that sound. Write the I sound. The next sound in it is T. T does not say T. T says T. So you're going to write the letter T, again, demonstrating how a T looks when you write it. And then you repeat the word. It. Have students, I usually drag my finger under it. And then we say the word it. Okay. And the next word is in. In. Now, that's not the letter N. N does not say in. N says And I finally figured out that the word pattern, when I hear people say pattern, I can never figure out why they did it. Well, if you think about the word pattern, it has an N at the end. And so if people don't understand the sound that the letter N makes, when they read the word pattern, they're going to see patter in and say N for the letter N. But N sound is Okay? So we're going to do the word in. In. The first sound is I, okay, for I. The last sound is for nose. That's what I tell my students. So it's in. All right? And again, I take my finger and I drag my finger over the sounds. In. And we do the word together. In. And at the end of that, what I do is I go back through all the words and I make sure that the student remembers the words. The first word is the. And I don't usually show them in order either. To. A. Whoops. I. for, you, it, in. That's all for now. I will do more. I will start with how I group the words that I teach, because I tend to group them together as well. This will be the first of quite a few. I do plan to post more videos to demonstrate how I teach other sight words. I got a little frustrated after watching the one that I saw today, and I said, let me get on here and go ahead and fix this now. So I'm not perfect, but this is definitely a start, and it's more based on the science of how the brain processes language, okay? Yes, I am, I've been studying the science of reading for the last 3 years. I took my letters training and finished it in February. And so this is a better way to teach students how to learn sight words, to keep those sight words in their heads. It helps them to orthographically map the sounds in the words, okay, the letters to the sounds in the words. And it helps them to be able to keep those words in their memory a lot longer than showing them a flashcard, like just showing this without teaching the individual sounds in the letters in the words. Okay. So until next time, have a good night, everybody. I'm going to see my grandbabies.